thank you for joining me. As you will have noticed, there's been a scenery change as I am no longer based in London. I am currently in Brisbane in Australia, shooting out of my mother's house, yay! So happy to still be able to create these videos for you all. This little sequence is short and sweet and is all designed around waking up and sort of stretching and realigning the spine. I hesitate to say that it's chair yoga, but it does use a chair, so you will need a chair or be close to the edge of your bed or a couch for this practice. And I hope you enjoy it. It's short and sweet, but it should feel great. So I'd like you to come to a seated position on a chair, or it could be on your couch or the edge of your bed. It is a little bit more desirable though to have a slightly firmer seat and to try to make sure that you're towards the front of the seat so that you've got a bit of a 90-degree angle through the knee preferably, and you can really feel that the whole of your foot is firmly grounded down into the floor beneath you. And before we close our eyes, just take a second to have a little wiggle of the toes and the feet. And so you're just sort of waking them up a little bit. And then I want you to slow that movement down until you feel that all four corners of your feet are feeling really active and pressing down to the floor beneath you. Your toes are spread and wide. And there's a sense of energy moving between the soles of the feet and the floor beneath you. And again, with a lovely tall straight spine, you can choose whether you want your hands resting on the thighs with palms up or palms down. You might even like to try both until you settle on what feels right for you. And then allow your eyes to softly close. You might find that you need to just slightly tuck your chin in towards your neck, just to lengthen out through the back of the neck and to give you a bit more of a neutral alignment through the cervical spine. Softly close the eyes if that feels comfortable for you, or you can just find a soft gaze ahead of you on the floor or the wall. And start to bring some awareness and attention to the breath as you breathe in and out through the nose. Not trying to alter or change the breath just at this moment, simply noticing its rhythm and texture. Becoming aware of how you're feeling today, physically, mentally and emotionally, not casting any judgment on those sensations, but just acknowledging them and understanding that they will play a part in your practice today. Good. And we won't spend too long here, but I want you to begin to think of the breath traveling up and down the spine. So as you inhale, you feel the breath traveling up from your tailbone and your sit bones where they're connected to the chair or the seat beneath you. And feel the breath move up vertically through the spine, through the neck, all the way to the crown of the head, so you find some length there. And as you exhale, none of that length dissipates or changes, but you just feel that the breath travels back down through the body and the torso and the spine. And as it does so, we feel a sense of release of tension, particularly around face, neck, jaw, and shoulders. So you continue to play with that. So inhale. The breath travels up through the spine, and we're really thinking about breathing through the back of the body here as well. And then exhale. You don't lose the length, but you feel a sense of release and softening as the breath travels back down to the spine, into the base of the spine at the tailbone. And the sit bones. So just continuing like that for a few more rounds. And then when you get to your next full inhalation, I'd like you to take an audible exhale out through the mouth. And then allow the breath to return to a natural, easy rhythm. We'll begin to reopen the eyes if they were closed to become adjusted to the room once more. Let's bring hands to prayer at heart center for a moment. And I just want you to interlace or cross the fingers like that, like you're forming a steeple. And you're just going to twist your wrists from either side. So it's almost like you're wringing out your hands and your fingers. Just warming up a little bit through there. And then we're going to push hands away. Good. And then in the opposite direction. So now the top of the hands going forward. You can feel that you're pulling the wrists apart. You should maybe feel a little stretch through the back, top half of the shoulders. And then just circle the wrists wrists in both directions a few times. Maybe even just give them a little bit of a shake. So we're just trying to warm up through the wrists and the hands and the palms, ease some tension there. Good, hands come back to prayer. Inhale, we're going to take those arms up towards the sky. Exhale, draw the shoulders away from your ears, and I want you to reconnect with the earth through the feet if that's changing. You're feeling yourself really solid through the legs and the pelvis. You're going to inhale to lift and lengthen a little bit more, and then as you exhale, we're going to take a little slide bend towards your right, really actively pressing down through the left hip and the left buttock. So you're feeling really connected here. So when we do the standing, there's a tendency to let our hips sway to the side, but doing it in a seated position really prevents you from being able to do that. Inhale, let's come up. Exhale. Take that little slide bend towards the left. And as we hold, of course, remembering to breathe in and out through the nose. Don't hold the breath here. Try to keep softening through shoulders, neck and jaw. We're going to take that on either side once more. Inhale up. Just as a flow this time. So exhale over. Find your limit. Inhale up. Exhale, side bends. Obviously, we're staying active through the core here. Inhale up. Exhale, release those hands and just take a couple of shoulder rolls. Few up and down towards the back, and then a couple up and down towards the front. Wonderful. Taking a really simple spinal twist here, and I want you to think that there's going to be no movement through the feet, knees, and the hips. Let's take an inhale of our left arm up towards the sky. Exhale, tuck it just to the outside edge of the right knee. Inhale to grow a little bit taller through the spine, and as you exhale, I want you to begin your twist. You're not going to go too far, and I want you to take this right hand and reach around. See if you can hold onto your left hip. If you can't quite reach there, then you're just holding onto the back of your pants. Inhale to go a little taller, and then exhale. See if you can deepen the twist, turning to look out over the right shoulder. So here, I don't want you to hold onto your chair or your seat to kind of help you move into the twist. We really want the action to be coming through the spine and the core muscles, the abdominal muscles here. But I find this little bind of the arm just helps to open up through this right pectoral muscle. Get a little bit of a stretch for you down through to the upper arm as well. Inhale, exhale. Can you move a little deeper? We're always spiraling up through the breath with the spine. Exhale, we release tension. On your next inhalation, let's take the gaze back towards the front. And then exhale, soften and release from the spine. We'll take it to the other side. So the left hand can just be loose for the moment. Inhale, the right arm up. Exhale, we take that little bit of a tuck there of the right arm over the left knee. Inhale to grow a little taller. Exhale, start to deepen the twist towards your left, and you're using the left arm now to hook onto the right hip. Or taking a grip with the back of your pants. Inhale, grow a little taller. Exhale, deepen the twist. Now on the other side, we were focusing a lot on the spine. On this side, let's reconnect back in with the lower half of the body. So really feeling that contact of soles of feet towards the floor. And the thighs and the legs are engaged here, helping you to actively stay in this position. And I don't want you to have this sense that the knees are shifting forwards or backwards, so that the pelvis is tilting. The knees are in alignment here. In one straight line. One more deep breath in. And exhale. Inhale to take the head back towards center. Exhale, release the spine and the arms from the twist. Beautiful. Let's take this right knee up towards the chest. So you might find that your weight comes a little bit back in the pelvis, and that's okay. But I just want you to squeeze it into the chest. Keep the shoulders down and the chest broad and open. And you can give your ankle a couple of circles in both directions. Maybe point or flex the foot. Good, give it a little squeeze. If you want to take the stretch a bit more into the neck, you can try to reach down. Give that knee a little kiss. And then use your hands to help you so that we're stacking into our little figure of four position here with the legs. Make sure that this right ankle isn't pressing down into your patella or your kneecap. You want it above, resting on the fleshy part of your thigh. And again, find that lift and length through the spine. We're staying active and engaged through the cores here. Drawing your belly button in towards the back of the spine, rib cage drawing in and then down. Feel that the right knee begins to soften towards the earth, and you can use a little bit of gentle pressure with your hands here to encourage that, but again, don't try to force or wrench, particularly directly above the knee. Good. Take hands onto hips. Inhale to find a little bit more length through the spine, and as you exhale, I want you to hinge forward from your hips and take just a really small forward fold here. So we're not even thinking about trying to reach down to this leg. Instead, I want you to think of the crown of the head reaching towards the wall in front of you. And again, you're actively pressing through the sole of the left foot here. So you should feel really long and open and broad as you begin to stretch and open up into that right hip joint. You should feel really good, very supported, and lovely hip opener. Good. Next inhalation takes us back upright. Use your hands to help guide that right foot back down towards the floor. And then again, find a real solid seat for that. Don't just flop it down. Feel that energy and intention. And then we're taking that left knee up towards the chest. And again, if you rock a little bit back into the pelvis here, that's okay. But we're trying to stay as upright as we can, shoulders down, chest broad. Good. And again, let's take a few circles over the ankle here in both directions. Maybe point and flex the toe a few times, just waking up through those wee feet. And if you want to take the stretch up in a little bit more into towards the neck and the upper spine, reach down so you can just give that left knee a little kiss. And then now you've got back over the hands to help position you into that figure of four on the opposite side, now with left ankle above the knee. Again, take a second, if you've rocked back, to see if you can bring that pelvis back into neutral, find that length in the spine. Softly encourage left knee to rotate out and down towards the floor. Once you feel comfortable and steady here, hands come onto the hips, inhale to lift and lengthen, exhale. It's a contraction of the core muscles here, which helps to bring you forward into this little fold. And again, you're thinking length, 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 length. So that crown of the head is reaching towards the wall ahead of you. And we're not even thinking about bringing head or heart down towards this supported leg. And I find the position of the hands on the hips is kind of nice actually, because it encourages you to keep drawing those shoulders away from the ears, so that there's length through the neck as well. You imagine that there's this light in your heart center, it's absolutely beaming forward right now. Next inhalation, we're going to lift ourselves gently back upright into a neutral spine. Again, use your hands to help lift that left leg up and over. If you've got any tension in the knees, you can give them a little wiggle or just lengthen them out for a second before coming back into this 90 degree or as close as possible to, for your situation, 90 degrees. From here, I want you to take a deep breath in and then exhale. I don't mind which hand crosses on top. I want you to take a big, big squeeze as though you're giving yourself a hug, yeah? Now, we're gonna hold here for a few breaths. And there's a few different options. So you might actually just enjoy using those fingers to just get in towards the flesh and the muscle around the back top of your scapula, your shoulder blade. You might find there's some nice juicy bits there that will appreciate a gentle massage. Good, you can go a little bit further down if you want. And once you've had a little massage, maybe you can just take a little sway from side to side. And it should kind of feel like, you know, if you see seaweed or a weeping willow branch just swaying in the current or the wind, and you're letting your head flow. Just feels like a nice little massage for the spine. You can feel a little bit of a stretch for your lower torso as well. And then come back to neutral center. Inhale, take another big open heart breath. And this time I'd like us all to take right arm underneath left, and we're going to hook and cross into our eagle arm bind. Now if you can't quite bring palm to palm, then maybe you're holding onto thumb or even just holding onto wrist. And this is option one, to just stay here. Option two, we bring the fingertips a little higher towards the sky so that the elbows are a bit more lined up with the face. Checking with the soles of the feet again, are they still staying active and connected to the earth beneath you? Option three, if it feels comfortable for your lower back, on an exhale, with contraction through the core, you're going to fold forward. And it's like you're coming into Uttanasana. You're just going to let the spine curl forward, head's heavy, and it hangs and you drop down. Good, so I apologize, I am talking into my armpits here, so I hope you can hear me. But we're just letting gravity do all the work here. We're pulling our spine into a slight traction, so we're finding some length there. And also, we're deepening that stretch through the shoulder blades. Good. So obviously, because we're seated, it's a little bit more gentle than if we were standing. So this is a nice one if you're feeling a bit stiff, but you think, oh, I'm not really ready for any kind of full forward folds or a deeper eagle bind. Good. Now, this is important here. As you release from this posture. Exhale, contract your core muscles. And on the inhale, I want you to think of your fingertips and the crown of your head leading you up back to neutral. And you're pressing actively down through the soles of the feet to help assist you upwards here. Exhale, begin to release and soften the arms. Inhale, big open heart breath. We're going to take that straight to the other side. So now the left arm is coming under, looking across, and we take that eagle bind. Adjust the hands as you need to. Option 1 is just happily staying here. Option 2, perhaps we move deeper and bring fingertips a little higher towards the sky so that the elbows are lining up a little bit more with the face. Option 3, again, it's an exhale to contract through the core, empty the lungs. We're going to fold forward over the legs, dropping crown of head and the fingertips towards the floor. Now, if you did the forward fold on the last side and you found it a little bit too intense in the eagle arm bind, of course you can just release the hands, have them reaching down towards floor or ankles, and enjoy that flop there. Okay? But if you're happy in the eagle bind, we're going for a few more breaths. Good. Now, if you're not in that eagle bind on your exhale, you're just going to roll up through the spine to come upwards. If you are in an eagle bind though, you're going to exhale, contract through the core muscles, and then on an inhale, feel as though the fingertips and the crown of the head are lifting you up and over, actively pressing through soles of feet. Exhale, we release the arms. Inhale, come to a big open heart stretch. Exhale, hands come down to the thighs. Lovely. Now we're going to come to standing. Okay, so now that we're in our standing position Tadasana, I want us to take a feet hip width distance stance, and again make sure the feet are feeling really alive and awake. So if you want to take the weight back onto the heels, spread the toes, and then press them back down to the mat. Just have a little play of weight side to side, forward, backwards, until you feel that sweet spot where the weight's really evenly distributed through the thing. And there's energy and activity through the legs, so you're drawing your kneecaps up towards your hips. You can feel the tailbone drop down towards the floor. Spine's lovely and long, chest is open and broad, shoulders dropping away from ears. Of course, there's that gentle hum of energy through the abdominal muscles, keeping us secure and supported there. Navel drawing in towards the back of the spine. We're going to bring a little bit more motion into the body now. So inhale, bring those hands up towards the scope up, and it's like you're taking a little morning stretch. And then as you exhale, soften the knees, and we're going to flop forward. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, flop the arms. Yeah, so getting rid of some dead energy here. Just let the arms flop and sway until they come back to stillness. And then we take that once more. Inhale, arms come up. So you're feeling really rooted, connected through the soles of the feet. We are stretching and moving through the upper body. On the exhale, we come forward on a swing. Release through the back of the neck. Inhale up. Exhale down. So you're just letting the weight of gravity and the momentum of your arms bring you in. Let's do that one more time. This time you have the option, if it feels right for you, to perhaps come up onto the balls of the feet. As you inhale and lengthen the arms up, nice little stretch. Make sure as you drop down, though, those heels come back down towards the floor. As you exhale, soft knees. Inhale up, exhale down. Good. And again, just let the hands slowly soften and slow back to stillness. Good. Have your eyes switched off like mine just did. If they did, right, going back up. Inhale, take the hands behind your head, interlace those fingers, and you're going to create a little hammock here through the back of the neck with your thumbs supporting the length of your neck. From here, let's inhale to lift and lengthen. Exhale, we're taking a little side bend towards our right. Inhale, we're taking that right elbow up towards the sky. Exhale, release back into the side bend. Inhale, we come back upright. Exhale, side bend. Inhale to twist. Exhale to release. Inhale to come back up. So you're just going to continue that flow side to side. And like when you were sitting in the chair, try not to let your hips sway out side to side or your knees bend. Everything's really secure in that lower body. And it's just the upper body and torso moving with the assistance of our abdominal muscles. So it's our obliques here that are really doing a lot of this work. So if you imagine you've got rubber bands of elastic here, you're pulling them tight as you come into that little twist to lift the elbow towards the sky. And the hands and the hammock that you've created with your arms supporting the head and the neck. So you should bring your attention there. Good. When you've evened off both sides, we're going to slowly release the hands back beside the body. And just take a little test. If we move our head from side to side, hopefully you should really feel that maybe there's a bit more motion in your neck compared to before you started the practice. And that's because you've really woken up and engaged through the torso and the spine, and loosened up through the neck muscles. Lovely. From here, let's just take a really simple forward fold. So inhale those arms up towards the sky. Exhale, take them out through heart center, and you want to think of softness through the knees here, but you're rolling forwards through the head, up and over. So you imagine it's like your spine is a roller coaster. You got these knees soften, give the head a few nods and shakes here if you wish. So obviously a bit more intense than when we were seated on the chair, bringing the spine into a deeper traction here with gravity. Inhale, let's come to a halfway lift, hands come onto shins, come into a flat back position, and really feel that your belly is stabilizing you here. So you've got these extra cross beams coming from ribcage to hips to help support you. Exhale, contract the muscles even further to bring you back into Uttanasana, and again the knees can be as soft as you need to. It's not about stretching through the back of the legs here, though of course there will be a stretch. It's really more about the spine. Inhale, halfway lift. Weight forward and the balls of the feet. Exhale, deepen back into Uttanasana. And then from here, we're going to take a little sway from side to side, letting the fingertips drift along the floor. Let the head and the neck be heavy. And as you exhale, contract the core muscles, press through the soles of the feet. We're going to begin to roll up through the spine muscle, maintaining that sway, so it should feel like a lovely massage through the whole back of the body. Until you inhale, shoulders, neck and head up to standing. Good, so hopefully feeling a little bit more active through the spine if you're doing wake up. And now we're just going to do one more little stretch. So if your chair is still close by, bring it close by to you. I'm going to take a really simple quad stretch. Yeah, not strictly a yoga posture, but certainly a leeway into yoga posture. So I think it's part of our repertoire. So let's bring weight in towards the left leg and reach behind us with the right hand to grab onto the right ankle or the top of the right foot. Adjust as you need to. Now you want to try to drop tailbone towards the floor, keeping your pelvis neutral, and slightly encourage that right knee to be a bit closer towards the left. You have your left hand on that chair for support, yeah, so that you're really focusing on your alignment here and not having to worry too much about your balance, though of course you're staying active through core and you're continuing to draw that kneecap up towards the hips to stabilize through the supporting leg. Good. Now I'm going to pivot here so you can see. We're just going to play with a little bit of a exercise here where I want you to press into the right hand with the top of the right foot and see if you can just guide that foot slightly behind you. Now you're not going to segue into dancer's posture here. You're just going to bring it a little bit further behind. Feel the stretch also through the front of the shoulder. And then inhale, we soften and release. Yeah, coming back to that starting position. You might find that the heel is coming a little bit more closer towards the right buttock now. So exhale, press away. Engage for the front of that right thigh. Inhale, release. One more time. Exhale, press away. Inhale, release. And then exhale, softly lower the right foot towards the floor. And you might want to give that supporting leg a little bit of a shake. Good. We'll take it onto the other side. So again, find your stable base first. Chairs going forward. And activate through both legs before you bring the weight into that right foot, and we reach around left hand to hold onto the left ankle or the top of the left foot. Draw the knees together if you can, drop the tailbone towards the floor. Even though you have the chair there for support, do find that focus point, your drishti gaze ahead of you. Soft gaze. Good. Abdominal muscles still engaged and awake here. And we'll take that little 3 repetitions again. So as you exhale, you're actively pressing the top of that left foot into the hand, drawing it slightly behind you. So you're coming into an extension through the front of the hip flexor here. And then inhale, soften. Make sure you're bringing pelvis back to neutral if it's shifting. Exhale, see if you can just take that foot a little bit behind you, really actively pressing for the top of the foot into the hand. Thighs engaged. Inhale, soften. So yeah, you can go a little deeper. Exhale, press and pull away. And again, it's just a small movement here. And then inhale, soften. Exhale, release the foot towards the floor. And again, give those feet a little bit of a shake. Beautiful. Take the chair out of the way. All right. from here, we're just going to drop into our chair posture really, really briefly. 3 times as a flow. So inhale, lift and lengthen. And we're going to exhale to take the hands up and move into the chair. So exhale, we come down. Inhale, we come up. And you can see I'm really trying to take my tailbone backwards in space, lengthen through the spine. I can see my toes if I look down. Inhale up. Actually, let's take it 2 more times. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Good. Lovely. So we're still nice. Hip width distance, mountain posture Tadasana here. Arms just softly relaxed by the body. Take a second to close down your eyes. And we'll just take a few breaths here, just checking in with how the body feels after that very short, simple sequence. So compare it to how you were feeling at the start. Yeah. How are you feeling physically? How are you feeling emotionally? How are you feeling mentally right now? Where is your breath landing in all of that? Is the breath smooth and steady, or is it feeling a little stuttery, a little wheezy or gaspy? If it is feeling a little short or gaspy, just see if you can slow it back down and lengthen it out. Perhaps by bringing back that visualization of the breath traveling up and down through the spine. And really connect back in once more, not just with the spine, but also with the soles of the feet. So you're still feeling that active energy connection between every inch of the sole of the foot and your toes down towards the floor beneath. So feeling rounded and energized, and that in turn is letting you feel that sense of uplift of energy that's traveling not just through the spine, but also through the legs now as you're standing. And if you want to continue to stay here for a few breaths, you can. Maybe this is the end of your practice, and we're just softly opening up the eyes and continuing on with our day. I always like to finish even just a short practice, if I can, with an Om. So I'm just going to take hands to prayer, heart center, bow forehead down towards fingertips. You can join in simply by listening. But if you'd like to chant with me, we synchronize the breath by all exhaling here. And then taking a deep breath into the Om. Carry these peaceful vibrations with you the rest of the day and the rest of your week. So thank you so much for watching and joining in on this video. If you have any questions for me, as always, please feel free to drop them below in the comments. Give me any shout outs if there's anything in particular you'd like to see next. But otherwise, have a wonderful week, and I will see you soon.